believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself and what you doing, if you don't see it, you don't feel it, it ain't gonna be.
Yeah.
You know? So that's the jewelry I give anybody. Like, believe in yourself. When you look in the mirror and you think you got something, yo, believe that.
You are now listening to The Gradient Radio, an open space to converse about creativity with creatives. And I am your host, Antonio Knoxx. And today we have a special guest. Today, our guest is an artist plus an engineer who is doing the Lord's work. Today, our guest is Michael Millions.
Peace, yo. Thanks for having me. And I definitely been doing the Lord's work.
For sure.
Definitely.
How are you today, man?
Oh, I'm good. I feel blessed. I feel phenomenal, excellent. Anything that's up, you know, that's pretty much my status, like every day. You know what I mean? How are you though?
Hey, man, I'm super grateful, super blessed to be in this position in life. Being able to wake up every day to create, which I love to do. It's just like the ultimate blessing.
Waking up, man, that's really step one. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
A lot of people overlook the fact that they like woke up and like, you know, walk to the bathroom with no aches and pains.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That so many blessings within that. Like, so once you up for the day, you're already like.
Yeah.
You're already up.
Facts. I had that talk with Victoria York.
Okay.
And just she asked me what I was grateful for, and I told her I was like grateful for the small things, like to be able to walk, to be able to look, to be able to blink, to be able to drive a car, to be able to like move my fingers and all that. Like that's like a super blessing for sure.
They're the biggest blessings.
Yeah.
Because once they either deteriorate from maybe old age or some people may not have those abilities, you know, you realize like you really been blessed.
100%.
So you gotta look at
the
small blessings to even see the major blessings, like your food being good when you order it or something.
Facts.
You know, these are major blessings.
Facts. Major. So for the people who may not know who Michael Millions is, could you introduce yourself?
I'm a hip hop artist. Raised in Richmond, Virginia. That's me. You know, I rap. You know, I'm a music lover. I'm a songwriter. I'm also a studio engineer. You know, I've really just dedicated my life to this. I was thinking about on the way over here if someone was like, asked me like who I was, and lately I'm like, not that I don't even know anymore, but it's like, who would I be if it wasn't like if I didn't go into music? I'm more concerned with like what that guy would have been.
Yeah.
Who would he have become a doctor? I do fantasize about being a doctor. I think I could have been a doctor. Yeah. But I'd be like, yo, would he, you know what I mean? Like sure. I fell into this at such a early age. I don't even know if I knew who I was. I was 10, you know, 9, 10, you know what I'm saying? Like, do you know who you are?
Nah.
You know what I'm saying? So like when people ask me like who am I? I'm like, yeah, I'm this guy, but I'm like, yo, I've never given it more thought outside of a rhyme or a song or how something sounded, you know? Like, but yeah, father, family dude, friend, brother, yo, I like strawberry ice cream, you know, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I'm human too, though. You know, I'm like, I'm still learning. You know, who am I? I know who I am. You know, who will I become?
Yeah.
You know, like that's the ill part about it all, though. Yeah. If any of that made sense.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. So one of my first season guests he was like a bonus episode with Smith. And he spoke about how he started rapping around like 14. And I saw that you also started rapping around like 14.
Yeah, I was actually in the studio by 14. I started rapping at like 9 or 10, just kind of my parents dropped off a boombox in my room and a couple cassette tapes, and I was just like no longer interested in like playing video games with my brother, Name Brand. We would be in the room and playing games, regular kid, stuff, and yeah, they brought this music in my room one day, and I just like never. That was the first time he was able to get on like Player One.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I was always Mario or Player One. Like once the music came in, it was like, oh nah,
he was always Player Two.
You could play. Yeah. He had to be Luigi. I had to, something. But when the music came, it was more like, yo, nah, go ahead, play, yo, do your thing. Like I'm over here. Like even back then, the boombox I had these like, it was a Magnavox joint. But it had these like EQ faders on it where you could like modify the sound a little bit. Yeah. And it had all these buttons on it. So, you know what I mean? And I was just interested from that point. It was so many, on the video game pad at the time, it was Nintendo. So you had like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 buttons max on a controller. This thing they dropped off in my room got speakers, all these buttons down at the bottom, these buttons at the top. I had a CD player at the top. There was buttons everywhere. I just wanted to figure it out. But more so just like, yo, how is sound even coming out of this? And like, what am I listening to?
Yeah.
Like, and it was just like, I knew what I was listening to, but I really started to ask myself, like, what is this? Like, wait, people make new songs? Like, new songs come out? Like, I didn't even have that as a concept. I thought all the music in the world was already in the world. Like, these are the songs we have. I didn't even think of, like,
you could create
new songs coming out.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's crazy. Like, I was too young to just understand that concept, though.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, that's a journey. Like, for me, my mother just kind of like gave me the tools, like obviously like the pens, the papers, the crayons, and all that. But like when I first got like my first computer, I was like, yo, like what is this? Like I no longer wanted to play games, right? I just wanted to focus on like this new technology, this new product, and like really dive into it. And that's kind of like how I got to like where I'm at now. And it seems like it was the same way with that boombox for you.
Yeah, it was. It was a combination of things. Like I was already into what I liked as music. I just, once it got to that point when it, it was just like, oh, this is way more interesting.
Yeah.
And it was like, I felt like I grew up a little bit. Like in that short moment, I felt like I learned something about the world, because I was listening to, not only was I using my boombox to like reimagine the world, like through my ears, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't front. Some of the earliest rap that I was listening to used to like scare me for real. Like, because I'm like, yo, these dudes is talking about throwing people off fire escapes and like killing people for no reason. I ain't making it sound like that, but some of the lyrics was like that, and I was so young, and I'm like, yo, I don't know if I ever want to go to New York, or I don't know if I really want to go to California based on the music I was listening to. Because I'm imagining like, yo, based on what these guys are saying, it must be crazy.
Yeah.
But it's crazy where I'm from.
Yeah.
But it's not like how they describing it. So and of course with the, with age and the help of music videos, you shape your own perceptions,
For sure.
But like my earliest times with it was just so I was exploring, and I was picking up so much. Like I was just learning everything I could about it and enjoying it too, but like really learning it. And it wasn't that much to learn. We talking like 1993.
Yeah.
So it's like you got old school hip hop at the time, and then you got like Rakim, KRS-One, and right when I was really, really getting to it, Big was just emerging, Nas had just dropped, like Wu-Tang was emerging, like all of this stuff was just happening, and I was like, and like most of my peers at the time, they was still just watching like Nickelodeon. Rugrats had like came out around, and that was the new hot thing. Yeah. And so, Power Rangers, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, I'm like, yo, y'all ever heard of Fat Joe? you know, y'all ever heard of this or y'all ever heard of that? Like, that's kind of how it started, but it was like, you know, or like Snoop Dogg. You're like, yo, y'all ever heard of Snoop Dogg?
Yeah.
You know, like, and yeah. But it was a time frame though. I think it was a good time for me to like discover music though. But like the boombox started it all. The boombox used to sit on this dresser to the right, and I remember when my parents put it there, I would sit in front of those speakers and like, to tie it back to like what we said earlier, like who we was or who we are, I'm still that kid sitting in front of the speakers every day. Since then though, like since I was like 10, I've been sitting in front of speakers the whole time, every day.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know if that was like, if it's stunning me or helped me, or I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But that's where I've been.
Yeah.
In suspended animation this whole time.
So one thing that you said, you was like, you didn't know that like there could be like more songs, right? Like you didn't know, like you just thought like all the songs that existed in the world were the songs that existed. And I kind of like had that same moment as being like an entrepreneur coming out of like high school, right? I didn't know like what the word entrepreneur was. I saw it on a poster. It was like my senior year. I saw it on a poster by the library, and it was like an entrepreneur. It said entrepreneur, and it was like a French word. And I was like, entrepreneur, and it said like basically someone who creates like an opportunity or like a job. And I was like, I didn't know you can like, or a business. I was like, I didn't know you can create like businesses, because like coming from like the inner city, you only hear about like get a job.
Right.
You don't hear about like creating a job. So like when you said that same sentiment of like, I didn't know, like I just thought all the songs that existed in the world was just that, like it kind of reminded me of that.
I can feel you on that too. Like I don't think I realized that. I mean, now my parents owned a business when I was in my teens, and that was when I was like, oh, regular people can have a business. Like I thought, like you said, I'm thinking businesses are like brick and mortar buildings, or slots in the mall. You know, like stores at the mall. I'm thinking like the car place or the banks. You know, I'm thinking like, but yeah, I mean that just goes to show us our perspective. You know, we don't know. I mean, we're young, but you know, it just shows you how much more big the ocean is when you grow up.
Way bigger.
Yeah,
way bigger. So you say your first time was in the studio was at 14.
Yeah.
Right. Do you remember that first time? Or just that
actually,
period?
yeah. So it was a time frame. There was my homies named Phil. He lived in my neighborhood, and he used to DJ. He used to go by DJ Monodic. He used to go by Monodic. We used to call him Phil. Phil with the towel. Phil, if you out there, man, I miss you, dog. But anyway, Phil with the towel. Everybody gonna know what I'm talking about. But he had all these equipment in his crib. Like his mom's, I guess, was just like, yo, he was DJing. So that was like the very first time in life I walked in and somebody had like a microphone and some DJ equipment. I was like, oh my God, like, yo, this is crazy. I've always seen this in like magazines and like TV, you know what I mean? I'd never seen like real equipment before. Still, I had this boombox. So from like 10 to 14, it's me and this Magnavox and mad CDs and tapes, you know what I'm saying? But then, but I was rapping in the neighborhood, and of course they, I just, they was like, yo, come through my spot. Yo, I want to get you on this little tape I'm doing. And I was like, cool. That was like, wow. I went home, wrote the rhyme, and made sure I was ready. Got into the studio, and like, it was cool. I was super nervous, and the tape went out in high school, and that was like my first time being recorded. I remember taking it home to my pops and like, yo, I'm on this song. But I when I think back on it, I'm like, here's this like 13, 14-year-old kid in like the 90s talking about, yo, I'm on this song. I made a song today. Like, that shit had to be the furthest thing from like my parents' mind.
Facts,
Like, you know what I
yeah.
mean? Even just thinking back, if my daughter came home and told me like anything, you know what I'm saying, that wasn't in my scope of like, you know, reference,
Yeah.
like it'd be like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I'm saying? And that's how I went. Like that's how my relationship with music and my parents kind of went. It was for mad long. It was just like, oh, okay. They like, oh, okay, because they wasn't like connected to hip hop. You
Sure.
know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo,
Yeah.
I'm trying to tell them like, yo, and they like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
So what was the catalyst after that continued to push you forward? Was it that first time, or the first time you actually heard your voice on the track?
definitely was hearing my voice like through the microphone. I was like, wow, like it was like, wow, you know what I mean, for me, and I liked it a lot. I just was like, yo, I'm gonna make a better rhyme. I had another homie in the studio. I mean, other homies that live close by. My school was packed with a lot of aspiring rappers at the time.
Yeah.
And a lot of different schools, you know what I'm saying? But my homie Illa Styles also lived in my neighborhood. So he had a studio in his joint.
Yeah, yeah.
And we would go across the neighborhood I met his cousin. His cousin made beats. He was like, yo, my cousin live across the neighborhood. I could take you over there. He got some equipment. I'm like, bet. So our first link up was for me to go over there and like make some beats or something that I could rap over. I might have tried making beats for like 5 minutes, and I was like, nah, I ain't with this part. And he was like, yeah, nah. And we just cut on some beats and started writing and recording and just having fun as kids. So like he really got me started. Illa Styles, like he taught me how to count my bars out right. I had the rhymes and I had my flows, but I ain't had a style. I ain't had my writing style all the way. Like I ain't understand what counting measures was. He like taught a lot of homies that, like a lot of us when we was young, how to like understand music at a technical point. So I fell in love with it even more. Like you like, oh, you know, just the different parts. And then from there it was just on. We was just always in the studio. You know, we started getting our own home studios at the time, and we like in high school. This the 90s, you know what I'm saying? We like taking money, ordinarily bread that people would probably save up and buy whatever they was buying with. We was like buying microphones and preamps and computers that could even support any of that stuff. So, but yeah, it was definitely like hearing myself though.
Yeah. I think that's pretty interesting because, you know, most people when they hear their voices, they kind of like
They hate it.
cringe about it.
A lot of people, 90% of the people that get in the studio for the first time hate it. They like, oh, I don't like my voice, so I gotta record people, and they don't want to hear their playback. And they're like, oh, I don't want to hear myself. I don't know if I like my voice. And I'm like, in my head, I'm always reminded that like, yo, I fell in love with my voice when I like recorded. I thought it was cool. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm like, I wouldn't even do this if I didn't think I had a voice for it.
Yeah,
you know?
Facts. Yeah, first time with me being on like these mics and I had the headphone on, that's the first time I fell in love with my voice.
Yeah.
Like was during like that process, but like when I heard it on like a telephone or like any other recording, it sounded like vastly different to me.
Cause it's and most times people are used to those reproductions of their voice through a phone or some sort of inferior measure, you know what I'm saying? But when they get in front of a show, Michael Jackson record on these. Thriller was recording on a show. You know, when you hear your voice and it's properly processed, it's ran through, you know, and conditioned the right way and mixed the right way, and then the output is done the right way. Yo, you gonna love it. You know, I love it. You know what I mean? And that's what got me more into like the art. You know, it's just like how to make that better, how to understand that experience more. Yeah,
the way you articulate, you know, the music side of it, it seems like it's much more of a science to it. Like when you say you're counting bars.
Yeah.
And
yo, music is a super science.
Yeah.
Super science from so many. I mean, any science. I think I don't want to. Let me not sound crazy, but I think all the sciences. You know, I'm just speaking in general, but I think any science we have in the world can be applied to like music.
Yeah.
And and math, and it's a lot of math involved.
Yeah.
You know, I think people would be surprised how smart producers are and engineers are, and how much math we have to do in the studio on a regular basis. And it's just like these random equations we have to follow, but it's really like a lot of math. It's a lot of science. It's a lot of it's a lot that goes into music that we don't see.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of times it's just, oh, we're listening to this person sing, we're listening to some music.
Yeah.
But it's a whole lot that went into that.
Mm-hmm.
To even the fact that you're listening to it,
Yeah.
and it's not happening in real time, is
Facts.
it's like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's enough to keep me up at night when I think about it. Though. I'll be like, yo, they really figured something out when they made this music stuff, man.
Exactly. Yeah, I love the way like music make me feel like nothing else really compares to it.
No,
Like,
I agree.
yeah. So from 14 to like 18, you were kind of like crafting like your art.
Yeah,
basically.
like really 14 to like 17. Yeah, oh yeah, about 14 to about 17. 14 to like 17. 17, I got signed by a label called Downland Entertainment, and they were one of the biggest labels out here at the time. And I was over there for a good amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that opportunity kind of folded.
Yeah, I mean, when I say folded, I don't want to ever. It didn't fold. It just, it wasn't blessed. You know what I'm saying? Like not for me, but just in overall, like it wasn't a blessed situation.
Yeah.
And I think God has this way of like making things change, when things aren't like
100%.
yeah. So like it, and I don't, it just it folded. I don't want to say it like that, but yeah, and we all the artists that were under that label at that time were basically free agents again. And it was just go time. It was just like, yo, let's be independent. My brother was like, yo, what we gonna do?
Yeah.
And we just popped up a studio out Hampton and just kept rolling, And I was just releasing music.
Yeah.
At the time, that label wasn't releasing music. I had a ton of records, ton of songs. And then, they wasn't putting my music out into the street, so it created this like mystery about me. It's like, yo, we know Mike got with them. Mm-hmm. He's in the studio, like that's all he talk about. Where's the music? And it became this thing. Mm. And so I believe part of it is that's, even through music, but like that was part of how my like name preceded me when I went independent. It was like, oh shoot, Mike was over here now. That's over with, and he's like dropping music finally. And it was like I got a lot of attention from that move alone.
Yeah.
So like, and then it was just like, that's just that. Like it was like cool, yo. It was like free. It was like being a free bird. Like it was like, yo, I'm make all this music, tell all these songs on my heart, everything. You know what I'm saying? Just start like having fun and see what happens. You know what I'm saying? That was the crazy part. It's like a lot of times people do things and they fantasize about it for so long and they never do it, and they like, you know what I mean? They live with these regrets. You got to take your life to the max.
Yeah, there's an Albert Einstein quote. Well, Steve Harvey said it recently. He was like, basically, like the imagination, like what you see, like the visions in your mind are preview. He said the preview coming attractions in your life, basically. So like the things that you see in your mind is like basically your previews to like what's to come. And so like for those people who have the visions and like these ideas but never go after them, it's like, yo, like that would, if you would have followed that, that would have been something that would have came true.
Yeah, a lot of times people don't even believe they be having those visions, and I'm like, yo, you ever went past the like lottery sign, you know what I'm saying, and be like, yo, dang, it's 300 million. I know what I do with the first 10. Facts. And then, you know what I'm saying? Like, I still do that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, I like, you know what I'm saying, going in nice neighborhoods and looking at the cribs just to be like,
facts.
yo.
I do that all the time,
You know what
bro.
I'm saying? Like, but most importantly is what he said is like, oh, we're going to put a pen right there. But this is like something I've been thinking about lately. By this time, right, we in 2022, right? They said we was supposed to be time traveling. You know, moving, flying cars
Facts.
and
By
this,
now,
that, and the third.
100%.
So I had a thought recently. Yo, we've been time traveling the whole time. You know, just like we could take these snapshots of our visions in the future, we're able to go back in time. You know what I mean? Like at any moment, we've been discussing history, but like as I'm talking, I'm like flashing back to these moments where I'm placing myself in my bedroom looking at a boombox, or you're flashing back to the time you received your first laptop or computer or a piece of technology. You like can place yourself there at any time.
Yeah.
So we as humans been time traveling. So a lot of times we can time travel back and we live in that. But really about going forward, it's like, yo, let's see what we want to be 5 minutes from now,
Exactly.
5 years from now, or what do we want to do next? Like I spend a lot of time trying to see myself in that and fast forward it. You know, I don't spend too much time. I know we could go back.
Yeah.
We could go back 5 minutes or go back to the beginning of this conversation in our minds at any given time.
Yeah.
But like,
Yeah.
what you said, Albert Einstein said, Steve Harvey.
Yeah.
Yo, the future.
So it's a coming attraction.
Yeah, it's like it's future is what you want it to be.
Exactly.
You could modify it. You could pick the color. You know what I'm saying? You could pick how fast you needed that joint to be.
Yeah.
You could pick who. Not really, but you know.
For sure.
But these are your imagination, and the strongest. That's the strongest energy in the world. Like when you really put that out there, when you have that vision.
Yeah, facts. Yeah, I practice it like every single day.
Every day.
I practice it every single day, like at a low scale, but also like at a high scale, right? So on a low scale, I always practice it in a sense of like if I'm going somewhere and I want to be like parked in a particular place, I'm gonna be parking like right next to the door or right in front of the place.
Yeah.
And every single time I see myself in that like place, and in most cases, when I go, like that parking spot is like open or like someone's like coming out of that space. And so like I realize if I can do it in that sense, and I could do it like in a larger sense too at the same time.
We on the same path. I just coming here today, I was like, oh, but I knew I wanted to park close, and I didn't want to park over here in the bag that it just so happens. Yeah. But I feel you on that. Yeah. It's like I knew that. Yeah. I knew that. And another thing, it's just like the food. Like we practice it every day, you know. Yo, my food is only bad when I get something and I don't really know what I want. I rarely have like bad food. You know what I'm saying? But it's like if someone brings food and it's like I ain't really want that, it never really work out. Yeah. We use that gift to see ourselves in the future or whatever people want to call it. But I applied to just different things. Like, yo, if you like leave here and say, yo, I'm going to make a sandwich and it's good to you, yo, you thought of that.
Facts.
Maybe 5 minutes earlier before you made the sandwich. You know what I'm saying? You knew it was going. Facts. And I think if people knew that they were going to be successful, knew that their ideas were powerful, knew that the music that they was making or the creative ideas that they had were meant to change the world, touch the world. If they knew with the same faith that like they made the sandwich or made their favorite meal, the same faith, they would change their whole lives. So.
Yeah. If they did it, like I tell people, if they did it with the same faith they have when they think about like negative things, with positive things, then like your life would be like vastly different.
Yeah, definitely. You know, fortunately, I'm not often around too many negative people.
Yeah, me either.
And I think that's just because they can't be around. If you around me, you gotta start thinking upward. You know what I'm saying? Because there ain't no other way to think. You know. But you're right. Those types, I be scared too. I get a little nervous around like negative people because they might say something and then you might go negative for a moment. And you be like, dang, did I just complain?
It's that energy,
you know what I'm saying? You're like, yo, did I just complain about something? And you know what I mean? And people don't even realize how fast that that energy travels. It's it's easy to make someone smile and feel good, but it's even easier to get someone to complain with you or go down the hill with you. You know, and I'm very careful, mindful about all of that because it controls your life.
Facts.
You know what I mean? These thoughts become things for real.
Exactly. So, I realized that like words had like so much like power and like energy and like vibrations like with music, right? Because like when you just thinking about a speaker, right? Like when you turn up the speaker and you listen to like music, like you feel the energy.
You literally feel something.
You feel the energy coming from the speaker. It's like, yo, like if this is happening through a speaker, then you can only imagine like what's coming from my words and how that's like going out into like the universe of the world. Like that
don't stop.
Nah,
like that energy, none of it ever really stops.
Not at all.
Yo, I got this thing. My daughter gonna trip, but every morning we driving to school, I drop down the window and I just yell out the window. Yell to the loudest I can while I'm driving. I'm like, we're gonna be rich. And I yell it so loud. And she thinks it's the funniest thing. But I'm like, yo, you gotta do that sometimes. Like, some people like ask for things like, yo, I want this. And they say it so low. Why not say, tell your dreams to the highest, to yell it to you hoarse in your throat, like put that energy out there because you're gonna believe it. I tell her, say, yo, anything you want to do, I said, raise your window up and just yell out the window. Tell the universe what you about to do, what you want to see done, how you coming through. So it's funny between us, but it's really real. I'm trying to show her like, yo, that's how you pose the request. Like when you feeling it, yo, drop the window and tell the world like what you want. And watch real. People around you start doing that. They're gonna feel that. They're gonna be like, yo, I see what you mean. You know?
That's real. Yeah, no, I definitely have like affirmations that I say like every single day. Like at first I would think them. Obviously I think them, and then I obviously start to speak them. And like when you start to speak it, it's just like different. It's different. It's different when you speak it. It's mad different when you speak it. So you were. How was the collaborative process with like you and your brother when you first created like your first EP?
Yo, so my brother during the same time frame, he was learning to make beats, you know. So I wasn't really. He was learning, you know what I'm saying. So not everything he was cranking out at the time was like, oh, I'm a rapper over that. Actually, majority of the stuff wasn't at that level yet. I was already rapping on better production, but thankfully. And just him being the person he is, he elevated so crazy in such a small amount of time that by the time I got signed, it was like, you gotta bring my brother too. Like my brother gotta be in this situation too, cause that's the music y'all listening to. My brother made and I ain't doing nothing with nobody else. So that was just like how I went, and I mean, to this day, Brandon is one of the greatest producers I ever been around. The world gonna know one day, but he's so incredible and got so much range and capability, and the amount of different people he works with, and me, and the amount of work we've done together. I ain't seen a lot of producers do that type of work, you know what I'm saying, and it be really good. Like he's really good. But so he's been in it almost just as long as me. You know, I might have maybe advanced him maybe about 6-7 years, but other than that, he jumped in the game too. Like once things started moving, that's what he wanted to do too. But he naturally was just good at it. For sure. Didn't care for the rapping. I didn't care for the beats. Or making them. But it was like, yo, you love making beats. I love writing rhymes. Yo, this crazy. Like, and it was like, that's just how we get down. To this day, that's just how we get down. He send me beats, I send back rhymes. Or we in the studio together, it's just beats and rhymes. That's probably the core. I ain't gonna say the core of our relationship, but like that's as brothers is how we can have childlike fun as an adult.
Yeah.
You know, we still kids that never grew up. You know what I'm saying? So this is how me and my brother play. You know what I'm saying? Like, we play with music versus, like, I don't know, cars or some shit.
Yeah. How was so after, once y'all created like the EP, then like a year later or so, or a couple of years later, you guys formed a music group?
We actually formed it immediately once we were released. We just, at the time, we thought that was the thing to do. It's like, oh, word, well, we'll start our own label and start putting out our own music. And that's kind of how I roll. We were doing music the whole time when I was signed, when I went independent. So that was kind of like, we was always just like side by side with it. So it was like, it was a no-brainer. It's like, yo, we're going to start our own imprint and just keep working, you know. It was no red lights at all. Just keep working. Yeah.
So at first for you, which is like mostly the beats, well, not the beats, the rhymes, the lyrics and all that. When did you start to transition to more of like the technical aspect of music with the engineering?
When me and my brother went independent, we were now in charge of like more equipment, and we were basically in charge of our careers, you know, what we wanted to be, you know what I'm saying? So although we knew a lot about recording and we had a lot of experience, we had some experience of being engineers, but not the technical right level of being engineers. So we had to learn. Yeah. And that was, it was a process, but it wasn't like a crazy process because we were already familiar. I already had a mic and some other things. We knew the basics, but getting good, we knew it would take time and like a lot of studying, a lot of research, a lot of studying, and like, yeah, and just naturally, I don't know if he ever fell in love with it the way I did. You know, I know, you know what I'm saying, like as far as making music and the production of it and how, that's where he at. I think when we was studying and engineering, I was into it a bit too much, you know what I'm saying? So that's how I got here. Like, but it was a lot of studying and I enjoy it. I study every day music, like in that form, like whether it's equipment I'm interested in, and why, you know what I'm saying? Like why we need this compressor or why we need these mics or why I do this or that. You know, there's a reason, and I study these things daily, and I'm in a position where I get to apply what I learned on a regular basis. And if it don't work out, I don't work out. But a lot of times I get to apply a lot, of what I learn, and I apply it to my music, my peers' music, and clients, and all of this stuff. But it's not enough good black engineers. That's just the truth of the matter. A lot, if you go around these studios, even here where we at, like the biggest ones, ain't no black engineers in there. You know what I'm saying? Now, the fast track studios, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Where they fast tracking hip hop music in and out the door really quickly. Yeah, you're going to find some black engineers in there trying to get to those larger studios and bigger control rooms, you know what I'm saying? But like if you go to these bigger studios and in these other control rooms, you're not going to see a bunch of black men in there, black women or any of that. Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just we don't really get, I ain't saying we not getting there. We just don't be in them rooms as much as we should be. And we got great engineers in our genre, you know what I'm saying, and people but for the sheer volume of music, it's not enough of us. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I learned, because I would have to learn. I would go to different studios and I meet with this guy and this guy and this guy, and they tell me what they, I guess, wanted me to know. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. About what I'd be asking about in their studios. And, just different things, different concepts, and seeing how it was applied. And, you would have to take that you have to take that information and still, learn it, go learn on your own, because you realize, they may not be telling you all that you need to know about this, or what they don't know about it. And so the more and more I learn, I go back to these same studios and situations, and I realize it's not that they wasn't not telling me things. They just they didn't know. They got people get away with saying, "Yo, I went to school for this." Yo, I hate that. I went to college too. We made great grades. Me and my brother weren't allowed to bring bad grades home. You know what I'm saying? But I went to school with people that was on like academic probation almost the whole time. Yo, my man's like, he's a physician, like operating on hearts. But, people go to school right now. Right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying, no, he's great at what he does. For what sure. I'm saying to you is, people say they go to school for something all the time. That don't mean you was doing great in school.
Exactly.
You went, you got good attendance maybe, but that don't mean you always went. And that's when I started looking at it like, I was in college too, but I also was like looking at it like, people say that as a way to get you to believe them. In the streets, they do it with a Rolex or cash money. You know what I'm saying? Like if someone in the street tell you, yo, tell you something while they showing you something, you're more apt to believe them if they drive by in a Benz or in a hoopty.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. They just do it in different ways. People say, yo, I went to school for that. Or I got a degree for that. It's the rollie and the cash again.
Yeah.
But it's like, I went to school too. I knew people was flunking out. You might have not. Was you the top of your class? What was your GPA? You know what I'm saying? Like really ask what you went to school for what? What you get? They lie to you. People lie to you, and you test them on what they know. And you don't even got to touch them. People tell you what they know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you just be like, dang. But I was really studying. And so like I said, in those situations, I would go back and, try to get more information. But I was thinking like, dang, why didn't you tell me this? Why didn't you tell me, like, nah, it's because you didn't know either.
Yeah.
It's easier for you to just say, I went to school for this, and you get your theories off.
Yeah. You
know what I'm saying? People listen to you, and that's what happens. And now everybody cranking out funny sounding music.
Yeah.
That's not the goal. The goal should be like, if we from here, we should be learning this so we could be as competitive and as strong and fortified as possible to play in the industry. You know what I'm saying? Against more competitive markets that may have access to these bigger studios and better engineers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah. I know I went down a thing, but it came because I couldn't find someone to get my music right, and we had to take charge. So we had to learn. But I'm finding even years now, it's a gift. Like it's a gift to even learn it, and then a gift to apply it.
For sure. And
be able to nail mixes.
Yeah.
I've done, outside of my personal albums, I think by May 1st, I will have helped release 90 albums.
Really?
From recording to like finish. Like by May, I think I'll hit 90.
That's crazy.
I'm trying to hit 100. If I can hit 100 albums by like maybe the end of next year, that'd be cool. But I think I'm at 90 right now.
That's crazy.
And that's a lot of albums. That's a lot of work. That's a lot of time spent with a lot of different people.
For sure.
A ton of artists, hard drives.
Crazy.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and so I think about that too. I say a lot of people don't know. Like I spend that type of time. That's what I do. If y'all don't see me out in public playing a show, I'm in the studio literally because I live there. You know what I'm saying? And there's always somebody there. We're always putting the time in. Like, sure. I was in the studio before I got here working on something. And when I leave, you know what I'm saying? Guess where I'm going?
Go back to the
studio. Yep. That's where I'm supposed to be at.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, that's the type of time we put in, and so when I talk about it, I do be passionate about music, but it's the amount of time I spend with it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, I really got to learn some things.
Yeah.
But yeah, man.
Yeah.
Engineering.
During that whole time, were you also developing your studio? While you were,
I was developing my ear for what I wanted in the studio. Like, so when I got signed, we was in a big studio, 917 West Gray Street. Man, it was fly studio. Fly. Nice looking. We just couldn't get the sound right. You know what I mean? Spot was too big. That's when I started understanding acoustics and measurements and sound, like for real, like how sound travels and hits things and needs to be absorbed and deflected. Like I was developing my ears. People ask me that, like, yo, was you thinking about this then? I was like, nah, I was using my ears to understand what I didn't like about a room or what I don't like about a recording booth. I don't like recording booths. I don't know if a lot of people know that about me, but I don't like recording booths. I like open air recording, like, you know what I mean? We'll put the headphones on, but, you know, we could record from any direction, any point in my studio because of how I had it built. But it's more vibrant, more resonant. I don't like recording booths were too silent for me. Like, I couldn't feel any energy back. You know, it absorbs too much energy that I need to return. And all energy returns to the source. So don't put me in no like soundproof booth. I need my energy back. But yeah, I was developing my ears and like what I liked and what caused problems in the studio. You know what I'm saying? These are things like I didn't know was occurring, but like as it develops, you're like, oh. And then you know, and then you look into it, you measuring. You know, when they was building my new spot, you know, we had a design to have a studio in there, but designed to the specs that I wanted. That was for what I like to hear and how I like to do with my workflow and everything. So that was so important. But now I get like true sound. You know, I get the sound that. You know, sound that I was going for each time because I'm in a space that I built and I'm able to translate that sound from here to here to here to here to here. And yeah, man. Yeah. So it's definitely something I was developing. All of this is time. You know what I'm saying? Of like, you're not going to have to, when you first pick up, I say this about photographers, yo. Everybody buys cameras, microphones, equipment, all this stuff sells every day. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But like, the best photographers are the people that know when to press the button. It doesn't matter what they're holding. It doesn't matter if it's all of my album covers are shot on disposable cameras from Walgreens, but they're shot by people that can know when to press the button. Yeah, you know what I mean. That a great photographer to me knows when to do that. For sure. That's the main thing. You got the eye, but no, beyond the eye is that person's eye and vibe coordination with clicking the button is on point. Yeah. That's the like major part in all of this. But cameras, rap equipment, equipment for people to rap in, all this stuff sells every day. Only a small percentage of these people know what to actually do with any of this stuff. Yeah. But they're gonna sell every day. For sure. You know people that got cameras right now. Yo, I bought a camera trying to get
Yeah.
And you
that's a fact.
Yo, you could have started out on something else, man, save some bread. Yeah. You know? Yeah. But they just wanted to have maybe what you had. Yeah. But they don't know you know how to press the button.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. I think like a couple years ago, like many people would ask me like what type of equipment I was using, and I would always tell them like it's not necessary. It's not always about the camera or it's not about the equipment. It's about like the person behind it. Absolutely. And the person who put like the work in, like the many years to get to that proficient level to be able to capture the things they capture.
It takes years to get that good. That's what people say. How long it take? Y'all be like, a lifetime. Yeah. They be like, how long it take you for you to write this song? They're like, yo, I seen you write this song in 15 minutes. I was like, that's the part you observed. It took my whole life to write that song in 15 minutes. Yeah. Nils Westergaard, one of my favorite people, said something to me like that. And I have to quote him every time I say that because I was in the studio one time and I was just amazed at like how long it took him to do certain things. And I said, yo, how long did it take you to, do this or that? And he's like, I don't know. My whole life. Like, it took me this long to get this good and this efficient at this process. What you're seeing, what you're observing is like my whole life's work of being able to concentrate it right here.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but he was like, yeah, my answer is my whole life. It took me this long to do this today.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, and it was something I carry with me because when people ask me, when they rush me, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, yo, you know, it take me all these years.
Yeah.
All these years to do this one thing. And you like, really? I'm like, no. Like, what you asking me for took all this time to get good at.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So let me do my job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'll do my job, but it took this long for me to get this good.
Yeah. Like, when it comes to like pricing for like some people, it comes down to that. Like, if a person does a job in like 5 minutes and they do it proficiently, they do it like extremely well, it didn't take them necessarily 5 minutes to do it. Like what you're saying, like it took them their entire life
to get that good.
To be able to do it that well.
We'll just say if 5 minutes is the time.
Exactly.
Yo, if they're able to do, you know what I mean, something that well, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
People look at time and money like, because there's a distortion, right, between creators and people that don't, right? Yeah. Or the C word. Content creators, those words be creeping me out lately, but what I'm saying is, like, there are people that operate on a clock. You know, they go to work every day and their boss pays them by the clock, which is nothing wrong with that.
No.
And then there's other people that are paid at a value. Like, this is the value of the work I do. This is what this work from this type of person is worth. Yeah. And a lot of times people get those two equations messed up. They're looking at time, but I'm like, this would cost you, this would cost, if you went over there, this would cost you triple the amount.
Exactly.
I'm able to do it in this amount of time, but it's still going to cost you, but it's efficient. You don't have no errors. It's clean work. It's good work. It's going out the door.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And a lot of time with pricing, when I first started pricing, it was a hassle. I don't like talking about money. Like, in the creative space, it kills it, really.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I tell people this, yo, sometimes people come to me, I tell them, I'm like, yo, what's your budget? They tell me they budget, and most times people will shark you. I come in under their budget just to make the situation even better, so that money is not a factor in getting to the end goal. Like, if money was a factor in getting to the end goal, I probably, as an engineer, probably only pull out like 10 albums for someone. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But that's really my initial conversation. Once we get that out the way, I'll be like, I don't want to talk about it no more. This is whatever we agree on is whatever we agree on. You know it. I know it. But we ain't going to talk about it. We ain't going to let it hinder our production schedule. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not you know what it is, yo? When you get done with somebody working on somebody's music or working on some collaborative effort with somebody, and it's not yours. It's not your work. Mind you, I record like a machine. We talking about the other side of my life. But like, when you're a part of something and they put all their heart and soul into it, and you done put your heart and soul into it, and at the last minute y'all just proud, you know what I'm saying? That's priceless. You can't really put a dollar amount on that part.
Yeah.
And that's where, like, that's what keeps me kind of rooted in not like being greedy, like, you know what I'm saying? Because I seen people do things like that where they like, yo, I could up my prices. But they lose out on a priceless experience. They have less priceless experiences. And I don't think as in this lifetime we should short ourselves on those moments. So like, we get the money conversation out the way, and then like, I'm there for the work. The work we doing gonna last longer than the dollars. I'm gonna spend the money. You know what I'm saying? Like, we gonna spend it. We gonna smoke. We gonna eat. We gonna buy some. It's gonna be gone. But the feeling of capturing those moments in the studio, priceless. And especially when the work is done and it's good and it's successful. You can't put a dollar. I don't even know what that costs. $9 million.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't know what that costs. Like, I don't know what that costs.
Yeah.
You can't put a price on the feeling of just work being good. I don't know. That's just how I feel.
For sure. No, that's real. That's real, bro. That's like creatives go through that process all the time, and I
we
remember
struggle. You know, we struggle because we trying to make ends meet. You know what I'm saying? We want things a certain way, but like my goal to people is like do good work.
Yeah.
You do good work, the things you want gonna come to you.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yeah.
What we was talking about earlier.
Facts. Yeah.
You know. So.
Facts. So I know, like, in your journey and during your process, you had a couple peers around you in the same industry as you. Mm-hmm. Could you speak to, like, some of the collaborative, like, pieces or works you've done with, like, so many people, like your peers, during this time as you were going through your journey?
I mean, I've worked with, gosh, I mean, for me to even go down that list would be crazy, but, you know, of course, some of our greats, like Nicholas Seth, Mad Skills, Radio B, Fly Anakin, and pretty much 90% of the rap population here.
Yeah.
I've been able to do work with I don't even want to go down the path.
For sure. Yeah.
I probably shouldn't even have said that those folks, but it's just so many people, like, and companies and directors, you know what I mean? I be listening. I don't like listening to stuff anymore. But y'all know the homies.
For sure.
Y'all know it's Richmond. But it's just a lot. It's a lot of people I've worked with. Industry too. A lot of industry folks too. But that's why I said I don't want to get into all of like yo, he dropping hella names. Like, nah, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
There are people that know me, I know I operate. Like, my spot real private too. So it's I don't really show a lot of pictures of who's at my spot.
Yeah.
It might be people there now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But like, that's what it is. It's for the music. It ain't for the hype. It ain't, man, that's what people be on. They be there for the hype sometimes, but they don't be around long. Some people, but once they get the vibe, they know we there because they know how much work coming in. They like, oh, we can't speak on that. Or we can't speak on that.
Yeah.
Or we can't. Like, y'all are just hearing about the Butcher stuff, but there's people that's been in and out the studio knowing about certain things, you know?
Yeah.
So, it's just a space.
One thing I definitely do want to talk about was the moment that when you came on, like, Music Hills. When you came on Music Hills. I got sick that day, so I wasn't able to be a part of like that recording process. But like I heard that like episode was like a great episode to like be recorded, and like, you know, the things that you talked about, but also like what came after that.
Yeah. Like I honestly believe that episode had a lot to do with my contact. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It was just like the timing of it and everything. It was just like, ain't no way you didn't see this and not check.
Yeah.
And there was some other factors in play,
sure.
but I also believe that was just like off the rip good energy, just me. You know what I mean? Like, I really love that album. I love what he did. That music represented, you know, like I said, it represented like when you know what I mean? I was like, yo, we could do music? That was the guy that I was like, oh, this could happen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, and I think about that interview and I see clips of it. I got clips of it in my phone and I run past it and I was smiling like, but I smile like that, you know what I mean, when it's like good, you know what I mean? I know, and to get a blessing like that. Like I was just chilling at the crib and I had my phone ring and it's just like, and my cousin's there and I'm like, I go through this whole conversation on the phone and I like slide the phone down my face and I'm like, yo, son, that was D'Angelo. He like, what? He was like, and yeah, yo. So the timing of that and the timing in which I did that interview, I mean, you had to. Yeah, there's no way you didn't come across that and then start trying to, I mean, like, found me out, make sure he could get a contact on me.
Yeah, no, I talked to Alex about that, you know, when she came on her episode, and we kind of like talked about how it was kind of like a full circle moment for you to come on, and then for that to happen, you get the call, and then for you to allow us to use the song, one of the songs in the film, it's like, yo, like that was just crazy.
Circle. I think, yeah, I think about that was one of my and that I like doing those pieces.
Yeah.
Live interviews I don't be liking to do no more, you know, or like sitting down with people no more, because I don't feel like they, I don't know, maybe I don't know, I don't even know why I said that, but I had a lot of fun doing that joint, and I when looking back on it, like, and there's clips of me smiling. I know when I smile a certain way, I was enjoying myself. So, and that's always a sign of good energy for me.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, it's not that it wouldn't. I'm like, damn, that happened. But my life is mad interesting like that too, though. You know, there's a lot of I call it magic that happens that I can't explain, that I don't even know why. You know, nothing I planned for. Things just happen.
For sure.
Things just occur, and I like that about my life. Like, some people, I'm bad at making plans. You know, I'm not really good at planning things out. I like to I'm more spontaneous. I'm controlled, but I do like spontaneity. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, oh, word, like, wow, I didn't see that coming. But it'd be good things. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, but yeah, that's the.
So I got a question from Alex, and she was like, for your last release, the last album, The Love That You Felt, how was it? Like, how did that feel?
How does it feel? It feels great. Like, that album, you know, when people say album and music change their life, that was the album that I know changed my life a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
And it was one of the easiest albums to write, you know, because I was just talking about my life and various factors within it. And it was just so easy as far as, like, my approach to it, you know. But to see every day, someone hits me up about that album, and I haven't released new music in 4 years, but that's only because I've been growing. I had to absorb that album, and we toured off that album for a while. So, and then we had our little COVID years. What I think about is that album changed a lot of different things for me. The love I put into it is, I got that love back. You know what I'm saying? And it still unfolds. You know what I'm saying? So it inspires me, and I'm excited about, you know, I'm putting out a lot of new music real soon. So I'm excited because I'm still on that. Like, I still feel that love. So what does it feel like? I don't know. Like, I don't know what it feel like, but it still feel good. Like, to even know, like, y'all still listen to this? Why? Or to know how much it's helped people, how certain songs have literally changed people's lives. I've had videos of people send me from their delivery rooms. I've had like 4 or 5 people quit their job and or retire, and or I've had people leave relationships or get into better ones. It's so many life experiences that people are like, hit me up, like maybe DM or, you know, direct text if they know me, but they like, yo, I did this today. It was because I was listening to your song, and then I had to call you, and I'm like, you quit your job because you weren't happy? They're like, yeah, I was listening to your song, and I left my job. My dad retired from working. My dad's a workaholic, probably one of the hardest working people I've ever met in life. Like, go to work early and leave the work late, like type of guy. And said he was listening to a song of mine in the car and decided to retire. And I was like, and then hung the phone up. But that's how it all came. People was like, yo, I was having a kid and I had to put this song on. I just wanted to tell you that, you know. That's crazy. So I do know that we have power, You know what I'm saying? In our voices, in the things that we write. And in learning and having these different experiences, seeing people all across the country, I'm writing, you know what I'm saying? I'm writing for that experience. I'm writing about those experiences. That's because you know what I mean? That's what you do with albums. You take your life and like, it's like, life to me is like a bunch of like sticky notes of memories. You know what I'm saying? When I think of it metaphorically as like an album or something. And when you have your album, it's like these sticky notes. You pile them up and see what you've been doing lately. And you're like, oh yeah. You know, it's kind of like that with an album. So it's like, the music and the person and my growth, it'll all reflect in time. You know what I mean? People know, but in time, I've been doing mad stuff though. So like since the last album,
of course,
I've probably done at least 35 other albums. You know what I'm saying? We've toured. I've recorded hundreds of songs, like, for myself personally. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of growth. A lot of people are like, yo, why you took so long? I was like, yo, I wanted to grow. Sometimes you gotta get rid of the old you to come back and make way for the new. And I don't mean like you gotta kill them, but
100%,
you gotta be cool with growing. One more thing on this on this particular thing. Y'all found that I was watching this thing, right? And I thought the life cycle of a caterpillar was to become a butterfly, naturally. I found out that is a natural instinct that they have. But they also have a decision. There's a decision to become a butterfly. It's a decision to, like, once you decide, it's an instinct to go into, but if the conditions are just right, a caterpillar can stay a caterpillar its whole life and shed its skin. I didn't even know a caterpillar shed its skin multiple times. I had no idea. I thought caterpillars just grew. I didn't even know they shed it. Their outer layer and, you know, could have more colors and, of course, get bigger and bigger through that. But if the environment is just right and no other caterpillars are, like, participating in that natural instinct, then the other caterpillars don't see it and they live and die the whole time as caterpillars. I thought that was so interesting because I thought it was just natural. Yeah. But it's many factors that, like, play into them doing it. But once they make the decision, it's like, okay, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna go in here. Yeah. But a caterpillar doesn't have to become a butterfly. And I was like, oh, yeah, it's a decision. But when you make it instinctually, and I think as people, like, I felt like I was a butterfly already, you know? I think sometimes in life we feel like we done spread our wings already. For sure. We might have fell off a leaf. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, we might have been like, oh, and didn't die. You know what I'm saying? It was like, someone was like, how'd you do that? Yo, I must got wings. Yeah. Nah, we might still be caterpillars. Yeah. And I think I've just taken this time now to, like, go into the cocoon. Yeah. And become what I wanted to become. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? For like, sure. I don't know when that hits for anyone or everyone, but yeah, yo. So I got to look into that more, but I was watching something and I thought that was the most interesting thing. I was like, we got to make a decision to be great. And you got to make a decision to, like, not be your old self, to be better or whatever that takes. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it takes to allow your wings to spread and for you to fly as high as you can. Yeah. It might take time. It may take all types of things, but that's why I've been telling people, like, oh, nah, I thought I had wings. Well, I got wings now. Like, I'm coming out the shell.
Hey, bro, that's one crazy-ass metaphor, bro. That's an amazing metaphor.
Yeah, that would shock me, yo. I was like, yo, I mean, just off subject, I thought that concept shocked me. I was like, yo, word? Oh, man, that's crazy. And now all caterpillars turn into butterflies. They could be moths. They could be all types of things. Yeah, yeah. So it's like, yo, we change our perspective on the world. Yo, what do you want to become? You know what I'm saying? And it's up to you. You got to see it. But once you see it, you're going to know what to do.
Hey, bro, that was a gem, bro.
Hopefully.
That was a gem, bro.
Hopefully.
That was a gem, bro. Because I was thinking about, like, people. I was thinking it in terms of people. But like, you just kind of, like, said it like you have to make a decision to want to be great.
Yeah, and then instinctually things, you start acting that way. Yeah. You know, you start becoming that. But that tore me up. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Yo, everybody, you know, if you look at the internet, everybody ready to become a butterfly.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
That's not how this works at all. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just puts things back into why you doing what you doing and why, you know, you might be on this beaten path. My mom always said, yo, you always took the path that had the path least traveled.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, it's nice over there. It's like got nice scenery. Okay, the road ain't so pretty, but it ain't that much traffic.
Yeah.
You know, it ain't that many people trying to do what you do.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I think people will find out. You know, a lot. It's like when you on that level, it's like ain't that many people trying to become. They just want to be already.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, nah, yo, still more life to live.
Facts. So earlier we spoke about a little bit about like how you yell outside of the window. Speak about like, you know, you're gonna be rich in the future and all that.
Just crazy stuff.
For sure. So affirmationally, I don't know if that's a word or not, but like, what do you want for yourself in the future? What do you see for yourself going forward?
Yo, what do I want? Yo, if I can answer that, I don't know if I can answer that, yo. Because, all right, my I got in a lot of what I wanted. That's the crazy part. Like, even in today, you know what I mean? The things, you know, a lot of what I've got, you know, here's my thought on that too. We get what we want.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What we really want, we get.
You'll get it, yeah.
Whether, you know, no matter what it is, anything you don't have right now is because you really didn't want it.
Yeah.
And so when people say, what do you want? I say a lot of times, yo, I got what I want. You know what I mean? I think I could, if I'm speaking on a creative level, yo, I wanna definitely continue to go upwards and outwards and continue to like touch the world with my gifts.
Mm-hmm.
That, you know, that vision is crystal clear in my mind. You know what I'm saying? But as far as like, what do I want? Oh man, like, you know what I'm saying? We get what we want. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think about it in different terms. But yeah, that what do I want? I want to continue to touch the world. I want to continue. I want to continue to be a positive influence. Mm-hmm. I never wanted to be a role model or anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got a daughter, and I'm thankful that she looks up to me, and I hope I'm showing her the cool things in life. You know, things in life that'll help her a lot. You know what I'm saying? But I don't never really wanted to be no role model or anything like that, because I don't want people to do everything I'm into. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I definitely just want to keep going. I want to use my voice. I want my voice to continue to take me around. I want to have good experiences with people. I want to learn. I want to continue to learn, like, as much. You know, I don't know anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, even we talked a while, but hell, I don't know anything,
For
really.
sure.
Like,
Yeah.
that's the truth of this. You know what I'm saying? We don't know anything. And I want to be on that. I want to continue to learn, like, as long as I can, like, absorb information. Like, that's really what I'm on. Like, well, you know, a lot of people like, yo, I want this, yo, I already did it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've done it. You know what I mean? We live in a certain way already.
Yeah.
So, like, I really want to, those are the things I'm most interested in, is like impact, music, and like learning more about the world, learning more about the human experience. See, you got a book over there, The Laws of Human Nature. That's a wild book.
Yeah.
I mean, not wild, but, you know, these are the human experiences.
Yeah.
I don't think we study it enough. And, you know, as artists, and we get to study the human experience and ourselves, the places we are, things we see. We get to analyze the human experience like I think no one else.
Yeah.
And so that's why I want to continue to do that, so that I can continue to articulate my theories about the world. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they'll call musicians doctors one day, or philosophers.
For
you know
sure.
what I mean? Like, because of the way we think. That's all these dudes was doing back in then. They would have a good idea and be like, yo, you a philosopher.
And just speak it, yeah.
And I feel like we might all be philosophers. It might need to put some, put some flex on our name. But, when I think about it, as long as we continue to grow and continue to think and continue to do, man, this human experience, God, it's loaded with inspiration. You know what I mean? So
absolutely,
I'm into that right now. Like just learning more about people, life, of course God first.
For sure.
That's just where I'm at with it. You know what I'm saying? Like I wish I was different, but I really see the beauty in all of that right now.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. If you had to leave a last gym, obviously you've left so many gyms, especially like that butterfly gym which was crazy. But if you had to leave a gym for a person who's like starting out in their journey, kind of like in like the direction that you were heading, not necessarily like the same journey, but like
but just upward
for sure. Like what would you give that person? What would you say to them?
I used to answer this question kind of crazy, and I've been asked this many times in my life, and I gave some answers that I don't think I knew I was proud of. Not bad answers,
sure.
But this is my answer, and this is what I tell somebody: believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself and what you doing, if you don't see it, you don't feel it, it ain't gonna be.
Yeah.
So that's the jewelry I give anybody. Like, believe in yourself. When you look in the mirror and you think you got something, believe that. Fall all the way into that. And don't let nobody outside of you taint that. Nobody can taint that. You know what I mean? But I tell, it's such a, believe in yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so basic, but it's so important. It's like step one to any of this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm around. Unfortunately, I'm around people that don't particularly believe in themselves at the moment, and I play a large role in getting them like, nah, you got it.
Yeah.
And when they got it, I've seen people turn the light bulbs like beam up. You know what I'm saying? But like believing in yourself, like. If you want to get started on any journey, you got to believe in taking the step and a step after that with faith and confidence in yourself and yourself. And that's it. I would tell somebody, I would used to say, yo, do this, do that. No. The main thing is look in the mirror and say, I am and I believe, you know what I'm saying? And keep rolling. That's it. That's exactly. The only magic. That's the only magic that's going to help any of us is believing in ourselves. So that's it. It ain't no magic. It's believing yourself.
Exactly. Whatever you say after I am, that is who you are.
You are.
Yeah.
That's why I told you when I said I'm great. I'm brilliant, phenomenal. I'm everything up. Yes, believe that. I am.
Facts.
And you are too, man.
Appreciate it, bro. Appreciate it. Thank you for coming out, man. Like,
I appreciate this. It was a good conversation.
Us having this discussion, you kind of like going down memory lane, you time traveling to moments in time. Appreciate it, bro.
Yeah, this the Time Machine episode. We show them that it was real.
For sure. That's a fact.
Thank you.
For sure. That's Michael Millions. My name is Antonio Knoxx, and this was The Gradient Radio.